Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Tonight in Venice, Italy, the oldest casino in the world plays host to a truly historic event in more ways than one. The WPT Venice Grand Prix starts now, only on the World Poker Tour.
Well, the crowd all standing. He is circling the drain. They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring. He needs the extreme miracle.
Buonasera, I am Kimberly Lansing, and welcome to the World Poker Tour, where we have returned to the beautiful Casino di Venezia. Venice, Italy is known for its traditional sounds, whether it's classical music and operas or gondoliers singing along the canals. But for the past 5 days, the city was filled with a symphony of cards shuffling and chips riffling as an international mix of players hit the felt with the goal of making poker history and etching their name on the WPT Champions Cup. The journey to poker greatness, Italian style, began on day 1A. Friends, Romans, and WPT champions.
WPT Venice is really probably my favorite event, actually, in Europe.
Lend their ears to the sweet sounds of Mike Sexton opening up the action of this year's Venice Grand Prix.
We want to welcome you to Venice, Italy. We want to wish all the players the best of luck in their quest to make it to the final table. Okay, dealers, let's shuffle up and deal.
And that quest had more meaning than most for WPT Grand Prix de Paris champ Matt Salzberg, who'd spent the bulk of the season atop the Player of the Year leaderboard.
Chasing some TOY points. Right now I'm like 150 points behind Paul Volpe, who had a really sick month of poker, and so try to catch up.
Making this Venice final table also held special meaning for the popular and determined Kara Scott.
One of my favorite people in the world.
Oh, that's so
I'm
nice.
pulling for her to get to the final table.
Yay, no bubbling this year.
You can do it, yes, you bubble. Good luck, playing right over there, right? I'm at the next table, honey. Still alive, still alive. All right, they're all tough. Everybody's tough.
With tough players everywhere, fatal confrontations were inevitable, as was the case when WPT champions Guillaume Darcourt and Andrei Patichuk tussled in the early going. The Russian came out on top, sending the pink-haired Parisian packing. But only for the day. With a chance to re-enter on day 1B, a bust-out did not necessarily spell doom.
Yeah, why not?
As players continued to be eliminated, WPT World Champion Mad Marvin Rettenmeyer, who happened to have been given his Mad moniker here in Venice, was on a heater. The German pro took out player after player after player, soaring to the top of the leaderboard.
Got aces 5 times today.
A few tables over, aces did not work out as well for jungleman Dan Cates, who lost to Italian pro Arian Islame's quad nines. And in the final level of the day, Romanian pro Dorian Rauta shoved with top pair and a flush draw, putting recent Bay 101 TV bubble boy Steve Bem to a decision for almost all his chips.
I got a quad call.
No choice.
Steve thought he needed a club to survive, but it was an ace on the river that won him the hand and crowned him our day 1A chip leader.
The only way you can beat these guys is by being lucky. God bless the WPT.
A surge of new players traveled far and wide to the Casino di Venezia in hopes of adding their own illustrious spot on the WPT Champions Cup.
Flew in from Istanbul about an hour before the tournament started.
At the last year, the second place is best rest for me, but the last year is magic here for me.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Joining these fresh faces were a number of casualties from Day 1A who claimed new life by re-entering on Day 1B.
I entered the main event yesterday and I re-entered today. I like to play re-entry because when I come to play an event, it's always nice to be able to play a lot of days.
Mike Sexton, in a great mood after finishing off Day 1A in the top 3, joined Vince for a walk around the floor.
Gaten, we're thrilled to see you over here in Venice. A surprise.
Surprise. boys.
We got an Italian cowboy here.
I love it.
Yes. Bravo.
I problema non speak English.
It's okay. Speak Italian. We're in Italy.
Speak Italian.
okay.
Io saluto a tutti gli americani.
See?
È la
Bravo.
mia prima esperienza.
WPT champion. I'm trying to talk Vince into getting hair like you. I mean, can you send him to us, your stylist?
Why not?
Huh? I think so, huh? What do you think?
Try something.
Might pay me some luck. You're right.
Unfortunately for Guillaume Darcourt, luck was nowhere to be found, and he busted out soon after. But Darcourt's pink hair would not be the most colorful thing we'd set our eyes on that day. In true form, poker's most colorful character made one of his most spectacular arrivals to date. Decked out in his Venetian finest, it was none other than the infamously late Phil Hellmuth, who was happily greeted by the Royal Flush Girls. Regrettably for Phil, his performance on the felt wasn't nearly as spectacular. The poker brat busted out before the end of the day and just had to let everybody know.
Just a weird hand. I mean, you wouldn't see that. I haven't lost a WPT out like that in like 5 years.
While the costume wasn't lucky for Phil, it was lucky for Fernando Camiglia, who knocked him out and ended the day with the chip lead.
Benissimo. Okay. All right.
Players were in a cheerful mood as they readied for the long day ahead.
Day 2, si parte. We're starting. Good luck.
Once in their seats, the combined 91 fortunate players to make it on to day 2 got right down to business, including latecomer Mad Marvin Rettenmeyer, who claimed to have been stuck in traffic. Jungleman Dan Cates, who started the day on life support, got off to a fast start.
Well, one of the first hands I played, I had aces that tripled up.
Across the room, another short stack from day 1A was chipping up. WPT Player of the Year contender Matt Salzberg surged from 10,000 to 60,000 chips in what seemed like no time at all.
Just call and it comes.
Our own Mike Sexton was more than alive when fellow poker broadcaster Kara Scott joined his table, which included Poker Italia 24 WPT commentator Ariane Islamé, who was having a solid day himself. Also having a fantastic day was French pro Ludovic Laquet, who was seriously accumulating chips. But as the blinds and antes increased, so did the bust-outs. As the tables broke, Poker Hall of Famer Mike Sexton was moved to a seat next to day 1A chip leader Steve Behm.
You know what I liked when that Mike Sexton guy came to the table? They all started speaking English.
Make the deal. You make the final table and make it commentary.
But when I was here for like 6 hours, they're all speaking Italian. I go, oh, thanks a lot.
And Steve later got involved in a massive pot with Italian pro Rocco Palumbo. Steve, with the flop straight, was up against Rocco's top 2 pair. Rocco fired out a quick bet.
Don't look at it, you're gonna fold.
The Italian pro never improved, nearly crippling him and catapulting our former Day 1A chip leader towards the top of the leaderboard. 36 players would survive to play another day, including all 3 of our poker commentators, as well as WPT champions Marvin Rettenmeyer and Matt Salzberg. But it would be French pro Ludovic Laquet who took the top honors heading into day 3.
Hopefully we'll be the same. We'll be the same tomorrow and the day after, and that's it.
Competition has been intense, but who will survive to make the money and the World Poker Tour final table? Find out when we return with more coverage from the WPT Venice Grand Prix.
Season 11 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour's extended coverage of the WPT Venice Grand Prix, where the remaining field would fight for the 6 seats at this final table. Take a look.
All right. Back to work.
36 players unbagged their chips for the start of day 3, all knowing that the magic number was blackjack, as only 21 players would make the money at the WPT Venice Grand Prix.
Long day ahead, 6 levels. We'll see how it goes.
Short stack, but we'll see what happens. Try to grind it out a little longer. Let's see if we can get in the money.
After an excellent showing, Club WPT online qualifier Socrates Ioannidis, short on chips, also fell short of the money.
I wish it lasted a little longer.
I know.
C'est la vie. C'est la vie.
The Royal Flush girls were busy in consoling mode as both Jungleman Dan Cates and British pro Liv Boeri were eliminated as well. Two-time WPT champion Marvin Rettenmeyer then saw his tournament life cut short at the hands of Chinese-born Italian pro Exia Lin.
It was sad. Sad day.
Are you hungry for a pizza tonight?
I'd rather had the chips, but I guess I'd take a pizza now as well, yeah.
Competition was intense with the WPT Champions Cup on the line, and Mike Sexton was well on his way, holding aces to eliminate newly minted Season 11 WPT champion Giacomo Fundaro 8 spots from the money. Others would follow, including the chip leaders from Day 1A and 1B, Steve Bem and Fernando Camiglia.
Oh, man!
The true money bubble came when the Italian pirate Max Pescatori pushed all in and was called by Player of the Year contender Matt Salzberg, holding pocket eights. Matt rose from his seat awaiting the flop.
8 of spades. 8 of spades. Ask for the 8 of spades you received.
Max Pescatori bubbled, and the remaining 21 were happy knowing they'd be paid.
Yay, we're in the money. This is fun.
With the money bubble broken, the field was still dominated by Italian players. Though 3 would hit the rail before the end of play, the Italians still had the home field advantage and monopolized the top of the leaderboard. Leading the way was Italian pro Arian Islamé, with Kara Scott and Mike Sexton tied in chips and right in the thick of it.
I said I need 2 trays.
Not too bad. Usually you need about this much space.
I usually do this. Just carry them in my hand.
With 4 full days behind them, the 18 remaining players focused their attention on making it through the field and scoring one of 6 prestigious seats at the WPT final table. The action came quick and dirty. Big hands collided when short stacks Ivan Gabriele and Antonino Zito moved all in with aces and kings against the pot-committed Giuseppe Pastura with king 9. The jack of spades on the river gave Giuseppe a miracle straight, sending 2 Italian pros packing and adding to his healthy stack. Alive and strong in his hunt for more WPT Player of the Year points, Season 11 champion Matt Salzberg continued to play the part of the Oracle, this time to the dismay of Lauri Pissonen.
It's coming. Sorry, bro.
3 of spades.
Salzberg finished off the Finnish pro in 15th place.
I did it again.
More big names saw their tournament lives come to an end, including a still smiling Kara Scott.
I'm really happy to have made a deep run, definitely. Arrivederci.
And shortly after having his aces cracked by the ace-king of Marcello Montagnier, French phenom Ludovic Laquet went arrivederci in 12th place. As the field continued to narrow, Mike Sexton's good fortune was on the rise.
10 left, still there. Happy to be here.
First, he eliminated WSOP main event runner-up Martin Stasco, and then Mike mixed it up with his Italian counterpart, Arian Islamé. Arian bet out on a board of 8-6-4 and was raised by Mike, holding 2 pair. Arian, having Sexton covered, moved all in, putting the Poker Hall of Famer to the test for his tournament life.
I wish I hadn't gotten involved in this hand. Don't hurry, see I can throw it away. I'm gonna call.
A 7 of diamonds on the river gave Arian a better 2 pair, but Mike's 4 of diamonds made a flush for the crucial double-up. Soon after, Mike's ace-10 overpowered the pocket 9s of Georgia Tobin, sending the last woman standing home with 12,000 euros and a solid 9th place finish. Next to fall was Giuseppe Pastura, who bluffed away all his chips, drawing dead against Robbie Ben-Yi and his flopped nut flush. With only 1 elimination to go, Matt Salzberg was in great shape to make his 4th WPT final table this season. On a board of Queen 3 Deuce 9, Marcello Montagnier shoved all in with a flush and straight draw. Matt, holding middle set, was faced with his biggest decision of the tournament. The king on the river completed Marcello's straight, and although obviously disappointed, the silver lining for Matt was that with his 7th place finish, he would earn 150 WPT Player of the Year points, tying him at the top of the leaderboard with Paul Volpe. The final 6 were now set. Mike Sexton was left to carry the flag for the United States. A tough Chinese national and smart Swiss pro were also well positioned to battle the other 3 players, all of whom are hoping to have the home turf advantage and keep this title in Italian hands and become the next player to have their name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup. So with Mike Sexton at the WPT final table, the big question is, who will take the seat next to Vince Van Patten in the booth? Well, we are lucky to have one of the world's greatest players joining Vince to call the action tonight, Mr. Phil Hellmuth. Phil, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Tell us, now you played this event. Are you surprised by the Italians' love for this game?
Well, it's not just they love the game, it's the explosion of poker. When online poker was passed here in Italy, which we need to have in the US soon, 10 times the number of players they were expecting to sign up signed up. The Italians have a lot of passion for poker.
As for everything else in life, and Vince, who has their work cut out for them more? Mike at a final table filled with Italian players, or you in the booth with the poker brat?
Well, you know what? I think perhaps Mike, I would think. Phil and I go way back. It's been 20 years or so, but this is the first time we've ever been behind the scenes like this, calling it together. This is going to be a lot of fun. Really is. Now, Phil, I have to ask you something, though, because you are a very theatrical player. You have a lot of passion. I've seen you fall to the ground after a bad beat. Is it real, or is that just theatrics? Tell me the truth.
Unfortunately, that's 100% natural. I feel like John McEnroe sometimes, you know, where a judge misses a line call, an umpire, you're a tennis player, and someone makes a horrible play and eliminates me, and all I can say is I'm getting better.
I'm sorry to hear it. So John McEnroe, that's an interesting person. You couldn't be like Bjorn Borg, and no. Anyway, it's working for you. This is going to be fun. And tonight, let's talk about. I'm getting better. You are. You're great. And tonight, it's all about Mike Sexton. My buddy that's usually sitting right here has made the final table. He's got 3 short stacks around him, Kimberly. So maybe they'll get knocked out. This could be Mike's time. Who knows? Let's see what Mike has to say about it right now.
Well, I feel good here. I'm against all Italians, playing on their home court, but still, I like my chances. I got a little above average chip, so can't ask much for that. We'll just feel things out and see how it goes. I'm going to try to make spaghetti out of these guys. I just hope they don't make pizza pie out of me.
Well, hopefully we will all be dining on spaghetti tonight. Will Mike Sexton achieve the dream of all poker players and have his name etched upon the WPT Champions Cup? The battle for the WPT Venice Grand Prix title continues right after this.
The WPT Foundation is dedicated to supporting great charities around the world. Now, you can help the WPT Foundation raise money for some great global causes. Check out all the incredible prizes, trips, and VIP experiences available through our online auctions at WPTFoundation.org.
Reaching the final table is a step.
From Switzerland, Roberto Begni.
But winning it's the goal.
From Italy, Mr. Arion Islamine.
I dreamed about this day all my career. I'm ready for the fight.
Mr. Sia Lin.
Per me vincere questo event è molto particolare, una cosa.
Well, I would love to hear something like, wow, this is the new WPT champion.
Mr. Rocco Palumbo.
Beh, qua è casa mia, spero di vincere io la Coppa, il trofeo, e speriamo di portarla qua a Venezia la Coppa, dai.
I'd certainly love to get my name engraved on the WPT Champions Cup.
Mike Sexton.
It would be nice to cap my resume off with a WPT title.
Welcome back to the WPT Venice Grand Prix. We're at the Casino di Venezia. I'm Vince Van Patten, alongside the great Phil Hellmuth, the poker brat. Phil, what do you think?
Well, it's very interesting because there's 3 guys that have no chips. Basically, they're all short stacks. And they're all in their 20s. Yeah. So you know they're going to be getting those chips in. So you're going to see some very fast-paced action. They're either going to get busy living or get busy dying.
All right, the cards are almost in the air. Who will get dunked into the canal first? We will see. Let's go to the felt.
Well, look at this. Marcello with 1.8 million. I don't think he has the experience to get it done, but Sexton, it could be his night, Vince, with $1 million.
It could be. As we see the first place prize, 140,000 euros. That's about, I think, 180 US. So big stakes here. Mike Sexton first to act. Oh, look at this, his first hand. He's got pair of fives, 55, the speed limit, as he likes to say.
Raise.
And he's going to pop it with it. Makes it 40,000 to go.
A comment about the min raise. I think it's a very good mathematical move because if you can make that min raise and get everybody to fold, why risk more chips?
That's a good point. Now, Exia Lin had king queen, but he's also going to release it. Maybe there's some fear here of Mike Sexton.
And look who's going to win. Hand number one, Mr. WPT himself, Mike Sexton.
Yo, Vinny.
Ho, 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 ho. Hello, partner.
The crowd is loving this. Mike Sexton, the Hall of Famer, my buddy. Take it down, hand number one. Nicely done, Mike.
There's some tough young Italians at this table. The guy on my right named Rocco, he won a World Series of Poker bracelet last summer.
Mike Sexton is a very good player. I honestly hoped for a worse player at the table, and he's shocked how good and how confident he was when he was playing. He was fearless.
The guy on my left, in the small blind area, has the commentator's job for Italian TV here, like my job in the States. And when he's got chips, he is really tough to play against.
I am like Mike Sexton, just a little more thin. I learned a lot about Mike Sexton and his thinking process.
Well, my strategy is just going to be, you know, just sort of play my game and feel him out. It won't be an easy walk in the park, but I like my chances.
It's easy to underestimate Mike Sexton, and I've done it in the past myself, and he's beat me some big pots because he is fearless. And so if they underestimate, and they all have respect after playing with him for a day or two, they all respect him now more than they did before.
Well, we will see. Back to the action, a couple folds. And now it's around to Mike. He won't play this one. Lines are 10 and 20, and now Irian Islamé. He's got the button. He's got queen 7.
What's that last name?
Islamé.
Well done, well done.
Yeah, he's the Mike Sexton of TV here in Italy. He's going to raise with his queen 7. Makes it 40,000. Marcello out. Now Robbie Benyi, 43 years old.
Calling here is just fine. You know, a raise is a little bit more aggressive, gives you a chance to win the 40 that he put out, plus all the blinds and antes.
Raise.
Well, look at this. He's going to raise it. He started playing poker at age 16, Robbie did, taught by his father. Now back on Irian. He won't play.
And he put 100,000 of his 1.2 million to work there to pick up 50, 60,000 risk-free. Well done.
The former engineer used to work with computers. Robbie Benyi taking down this hand. They're the Royal Flush girls enjoying this week in Italy with us. We've been eating well, having a fantastic time. But the best time has to go to Mike. Look at this, his opportunity to put his name on the WPT Champions Cup, have it engraved with all the champs here tonight. All right, right back on Robbie Benyi. And he looks down at a pretty attractive ace-9 of clubs, Phil.
How do you pronounce that last name?
Benyi.
Nicely done, nicely done.
Raise.
He's gonna raise with his ace-9 of clubs.
He makes it exactly 40. That was what we call a min raise.
And now Exia Lin won't play that. He was originally born in China. Now, look at this. Rocco Palumbo on the short stack with ace-queen.
Yeah, he has one move. It's all in. The math dictates that, and he knows the math, so.
I'm on.
That's it. You heard it from Helmuth. Says he's going all in, and that's what he does. Sexton out. Arian Islamé. The Italian Mike Sexton, but thinner, as he says, goes out as well. Marcello with a 4-3, thinking about this, not really. Goes out, and now it's back on Robbie. He's got ace-9 of clubs. He can afford this.
No, he can't afford it. It's 372,000 more. I mean, it's like a third of his chips with ace-9 when he knows ace-9 is the worst hand.
He's thinking about it.
I'm surprised he's thinking this long.
Well, these guys are dramatic. They're Italians, you know? And they like to take their time and finally does the right thing.
The Italian men do seem to be very dramatic, don't they?
Don't they? They like to take their time. There's a lot of passion in their games.
We'll be right back with more from the WPT Venice Grand Prix, including Tony Dunst shedding some light on tonight's players in the Raw Deal. And we'll see what the Royal Flush Girls were up to this week in Italy. There's a lot going on, so stay tuned.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Socrates Ioannidis from Nashville, Tennessee, is the latest member of Club WPT to live out his poker dreams. Socrates won a trip of a lifetime to Italy and his seat into the WPT Venice Grand Prix, all because he's a ClubWPT.com VIP member.
Oh, it's been the best experience ever, man. WPT knows how to do it.
In addition to playing in this world-class event, Socrates soaked in some Italian culture with the Royal Flush Girls. At ClubWPT.com, for a low monthly fee, you too can become a VIP member. This means you can play in as many tournaments as you want, win your share of the $100,000 in monthly cash and prizes, plus you can win a seat into a live WPT tournament just like Socrates did.
I expected it to be good, but not this good. So it's a great experience.
It's low risk with a high reward. Check it out for yourself on ClubWPT.com and never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed. Looks like the final table action is ready to start back up, so let's check the standings and get back to the game.
All right, 6 players remain here at the beautiful Casino di Venezia in Italy, and as you can see, Mike Sexton with $1,085,000. But our chip leader at this point, Marcello Montagnier, he's got 1.8. To the felt we go. Actions on the young pro Exia Lin, born in China, now lives in Ferrara, Italy. He's going to fold that hand. Now it's on Rocco Palumbo. He has a pair of fours, but quickly lays it down.
I don't mind that play at all.
All right, Sexton also out. Now it's around to Arian Islamé. Got a pretty nice ace-6 offsuit. He's going all in.
Well, he has 316,000, so the shove just seems reasonable here. I mean, on the button especially.
Absolutely, but look at this. Marcello right behind him with a legitimate pair of tens. Wow. He's the chip leader. He could bust this man out of here.
316.
Okay, Marcello, what's taking so
Yeah,
long?
really, what is taking so long?
Yeah, it's a snap call.
Now he's not a professional player, Marcello. He actually works in a hardware store. He's an employee. He loves poker. He's been playing 4 years. And right now, taking so much time, he's beginning to look like a hardware store man.
But a hardware store man with a dream.
With a dream, that's right.
I call.
There you go. Makes the call. Robbie now.
I fold.
Folds his 4-3. So they are going to turn up the cards. And Arian Islamé in a bit of trouble. A6 versus a pair of tens. They shake each other's hands. What a moment here. Arian Islamé from Italy, 27 years old. Hobby includes sports and astronomy. Here we go. Oh, a 10!
Wow, a 10 on the flop.
Of a current on the flop from Marcello.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I mean, basically it needs a 7-9 jack to even be drawing live.
A flop there for Marcello.
Yes, yes. It would only seem fair that some kind of straight draw would come on the turn.
Here we go with the turn. Oh boy.
It's a 7, and here we go. 4 9s will get the job done for the ace-6 to make a straight.
All the 4s are out, so he needs a 9.
Marcello says, go ahead, have an ace. You can make an ace.
Arian can't look. Is he going to hit his 9? Here's the river. It's coming down to this card. No. Not going to work out. A 6 on the river. So Arian Islamé out in 6th place. The WPT World Poker Tour commentator for Italy.
Sitting next to Mike Sexton. Does Mike Sexton's roll. He also gets to see a lot of hole cards.
That's right. He pushed him out into the canal. It is over for him. Picking up 24,000 euros. Let's see what he has to say.
My action is first, so I have to push. In this kind of situation, I have to take those blind, so don't worry. No problem.
Ariane was forced to make that move. I mean, an ace on the button, so he just shoved all in. That's fine. I think it could move kind of quickly from here. Still two short stacks that are very young, aggressive, and believe in the math of poker. They are going to get their chips in, and they're going to get them soon.
Yeah, very exciting. Mike Sexton, one spot closer to becoming a WPT champion. Let's see if he can do it. Back down to the felt.
The action is on Robbie here with the 6-8 of hearts. Don't let the internet kids see that you folded that hand. They don't fold the 6-8 suited 5-handed.
Exia also out, and now Rocco Palumbo with a king 6 with the buttons going to raise, makes it 40,000. Mike with a nothing hand folds. And here's Marcello. He is the major chip leader at this point. He is in the big blind. He's got just a 10-7. Let's see what he does with it. He's going to call it.
It's not the worst play, only 20,000 more.
He's going to speculate. And here comes the flop. It's Jack 9-5.
Great flop for Marcello. He flopped a straight draw here. He has to do something. He has to bet or check raise or check call.
45.
And Rocco not
now
getting anything. Bets 45,000.
So now what's he going to do? He's going to call probably, but raise would be really skilled.
Rocco's got just king high, and Marcello.
He's asking for a chip count. Is he thinking about just moving in?
Well, Rocco's on a relative short stack as well, so this would be a great time to just push Rocco right out of there.
I mean, he has 2.1 million. Rocco started the hand with only 458,000.
Oh, no.
What?
He's going to fold it.
That was redonkulous.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
That was a horrible fold. My goodness.
But don't forget, Phil, the guy, he's not a professional player. He works in a hardware store. He's an employee at a hardware store. He loves poker. He has a dream of getting his name inscribed on the WPT's Champions Cup with all the great champions of the WPT. And that's just not the way to get there, is it, Phil?
If he keeps playing like that, he'll be right back in the hardware store where we've all been, by the way.
I know it. All right. Back to this hand. Exia out. Rocco picking up the weapons of mass destruction. Look at this. Just like that pair of aces. Makes it 40,000 to go. Sexton out. And Marcello now with a 10-8. He's going to call with it. Right behind him, Robbie. 43-year-old who also lives in Italy. He's got a queen 10 of clubs.
Not a bad place to make a squeeze, because if he gets away with it, he wins both 40K bets and the ante's in the middle.
But he's not going to squeeze. He's just calling with his queen 10. Lucky for him, Rocco's sitting on 2 out of bombs there. Pair of aces. What a time to get him.
American Airlines, yeah, great time.
And we are flopping. And look at this, a queen 7-4. That gives Robbie top pair of queens. Uh-oh.
And Rocco, to start this hand, had 575,000, so...
But hold the press. Look at this. Marcello, who got nothing of that, is going to bet. He's going to lead out.
Marcello bets the air ball for 126,000.
Mamma mia.
Now, Robbie has a decision to make here. I mean, he's most likely going to raise this, but then...
Top pair.
Raise.
Yeah, he's going to push it. He's going to be in a lot of trouble.
He raised pretty quickly here. I mean, basically, he's in a lot of trouble here because behind him is aces.
Yep.
He's putting in
252. This could be a huge hand.
Now Rocco moves in.
Well, I can't believe this. Rocco has folded the hand.
Okay, this just doesn't make any sense. It's a queen. Well, what is
the guy flopped 2 pair of set or something? But it's a very, very tight fold. Horrible fold.
Okay.
And Marcello, of course, has to go out. This is pretty shocking, Phil.
That was a stunningly bad fold there.
Well, it is, but especially Rocco he doesn't have any chips. He's on the short stack. That's a terrible play. But we'll watch it here so far.
More to come from Casino di Venezia. Stay tuned.
Sometimes you want to work on your poker game without worrying about risking any money. That's why we love to play on ClubWPT.com, where we can play as many tournaments as we want without the fear of going broke. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
I'm Jeannie, one of the Royal Flush Girls, and I'm here in Venice. The Casino di Venezia is absolutely gorgeous, and it's the world's oldest casino. I love the architecture and all the intricate details. It's more beautiful than I ever imagined, and I'm having a great time.
We are back here on the World Poker Tour at the beautiful Casino di Venezia. Five-handed poker now. They're all going after a title, and right now Marcello Montagnier is the chip leader. He's a hardware store employee, not a professional player, but he's making it happen here tonight. Next is going to Robbie Benyi, professional player. He's going to fold Exia very tight. Hasn't played a hand yet. Goes out.
40.
And now Rocco Palumbo. He's going to make it 40,000 with Queen 10. Mike Sexton. Get ready, sir. When are you going to open up your game? He's still got chips, though. Over $1 million. He'll play this, Phil.
I like that, Mike. I mean, basically what he's picked up on is Rocco's been doing a lot of opening. He's been opening a lot of pots. And Mike is like, okay, he can't always have it, and I don't think he has it this time, and this is the time I'm going to make the move.
He's made it to 100,000. Back to Rocco.
And Rocco's forced to fold because Mike has been playing very patiently for the last couple days.
Five-handed poker. This is pretty good.
It really is. I mean, watching Mike with a shot to win his, I mean, I think that, you know, pretty much almost everybody in the crowd's rooting for him who's watching this. And, yeah, I mean, he's put his dues in poker. He's been around for a long time. He's done a lot of great stuff for our game, and I think a win by him would be universally celebrated.
Well, he is on his way, playing shrewd poker. This time he picks up ace-jack, and he will make the min raise, makes it 40,000. Marcello, the chip leader. Hardware store employee goes out, and now it's on Robbie. Robbie's got a king-queen.
Now, remember Mike raised earlier in the show with 2 5s, and Zia folded the king-queen. Let's see how Robbie responds.
I call.
He's going to call, likes the action. Exia out. And Rocco with a nothing hand. Not going to play, so we have two-way action. Mike Sexton with a big opportunity here. Ace-jack up against king-queen.
Now, Mike's going to c-bet almost every flop.
Look at this flop for Mike.
Except that flop.
Mike Sexton flops the nuts. Jack, ace.
If he's going to bet...
he's going to bet it.
40,000. I like the min bet because that's going to keep your opponent involved with a lot of garbage hands.
That's exactly what he bet.
People expect you to c-bet anyway, so pretty aggressive c-bet.
Well, Robbie's got the inside straight, that's all, and he's going to call. Mike is jumping up and down.
Mike is
going off in his head.
Robbie's rooting for a 10, and Mike's rooting for him to catch a 10.
That's right. But not a 10, it's a 6 of diamonds.
Now Mike has to check. Yeah, he has to check it. I mean, you just...
Try to trap.
Right, sure. Give Robbie a chance to bet the queen 10 or whatever, in this case a king queen.
Very shrewd. Robbie does not bet. River card. Oh, that's not going to help Sexton anymore. Another ace.
That's an action killer from Mike. I mean, in this case, actually, it could induce a call because with aces and jacks on board, Mike could potentially have 2 10s and Robbie
that's right.
could call him, but...
Sexton is going to bet, and he bets a lot. 225.
He bet too much. I mean, he bet over the size of the pot here. I mean, you know, I don't like the bet. There's only 205,000 in there. He bet too much.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
I'm not sure that Robbie would call that much. He might call 50 or 100,000, but yeah, I think 100 is a good number.
Robbie's going to lay down the hand, and Mike, you know, it's one of those things where you win the pot, but you're still aggravated. You didn't get enough out of it.
I raised with ace-jack, I flopped a full house, I won the pot, but I'm kind of pissed off.
Right now, it's time to get more in-depth analysis on tonight's play from Tony Dunst in this edition of The Raw Deal.
It takes a long time to be dealt pocket aces. At the pace of your average live tournament, you can expect to look down at aces about once every 7 hours of play. And if you get aces when you're one of the short stacks at a final table, you would probably get your stack in. So why did Rocco Palumbo so casually ditch his aces on the flop? Let's break it down. The hand starts simply enough, with Rocco min-raising his aces in the cutoff and getting called by the blinds. It's after the flop that everything goes haywire. Marcello Montagnier bets out nearly full pot for 126,000 and with no real equity in the hand. Then it's on Robbie Benyi, who's flopped top pair with his queen 10 suited. The play almost everyone anticipates from Robbie is a call. A raise with his hand here makes little sense. 1, the bet he's facing is already so big. 2, there's very few draws that he can be sucked out by. And 3, he's second in chips to Marcello. So if he loses a big pot against the chip leader, the real money consequences are severe. But Robbie defies expectations and raises the minimum to $252,000. This puts Rocco Palumbo in a bind holding pocket aces. First, Rocco has his own chip stack problem. He's 4th in chips and well ahead of the short-stacked Exia Lin, and he faces real money implications for busting this hand. Second, Rocco also believes that almost every time Robbie has top pair here, he would simply call Marcello's bet. So Rocco decides Robbie must have a better hand than him and immediately folds his aces. Now, although there should be few hands worse than aces that Robbie would raise this flop with, I still believe Rocco makes a mistake by not